Hi guys, it's Adam from LUCIDPIXUL, and I hope you're all home with your families, taking it easy and playing it safe. And after watching a video online of this Italian opera singer who bellowed his beautiful voice across Italy to bring some comfort and joy to a lot of our Italian friends that are locked up at home as well, because it's pretty bad in Italy, it reminded me of something incredibly important, particularly important with what we're dealing with today. And that is that there is a group of people out there, a very large group of people out there, that despite whatever situation we might find ourselves, find joy, beauty, and humanity in anything, and can capture humanity and remind us of what's worth living for. And that is artists, right? And this book, Monster University, The Art of Monster University, is an excellent example of the things in life that are worth protecting, in my humble opinion. That's why I chose this book for today, because this boy brings me joy. So let's crack it open. And first impression is a very joyous impression and something to look forward to if we approach life with a little bit more caution. It will be the reward that we'll get and be able to enjoy guilt-free if we live life responsibility. Large gatherings of people, which you should avoid at all costs right now. Stay home and stay safe, particularly for the vulnerable ones out there. But it's a beautiful, colorful, very busy page to give us an impression of the type of lifestyle we're going to be enjoying moving forward, which is, by the way, illustrated by none other than our beloved, and this one too, Dice Tsutsumi, who, if you might not know, actually teaches a course at SHOOLISM. So definitely go check that out. Absolutely fantastic artist, who is an artist that you'll see. This is another piece by Dice as well. An artist that does not concern himself so much with technical refinement all the time. He is an artist that is very much focused on form, value, and color, and lighting, and mood, first and foremost. Very reminiscent of what you might see in Marco Bucci's work as well. So then Marco Bucci also illustrated the Disney book, Last Christmas, which I own, I might add. It's absolutely gorgeous. So we can flip through and we can see different renditions of things. And one of the first things that, first impressions that this book is giving off right away is they're not trying to show off that they can render out perfect three-dimensional forms. What they're very, very gifted at, and what Pixar and Disney exploit and explore, is feeling. Capturing mood and feeling. And what they're trying to capture in these first initial sketches, even these very loose ones by Ricky Nierva, okay, over here, this is also Ricky's piece over here, is trying to capture the personalities. Sully being a very frumpy, lazy guy, and Mike being the very ambitious college kid. This is reminiscent of some old colors from the original Monsters, Inc., and where they wanted to recapture that and enhance it using modern technology. Dice was very respectable of the color palette used in the original Monsters, Inc., the more cartoony, punchy colors, and wanted to build off of that moving forward to capture that essence. And he did a beautiful job with it. With improvements in technology, here's another Dice piece. With improvements in technology, we have access to better colors, better textures, and overall more ambitious artwork. Technology allows us to express ourselves artistically. And that's only moving forward. Here, you can see how we can easily take a loose sketch like this and translate this into something a little bit more refined. This piece by Jason Deemer. All of these pieces, an adorable character with his braces. I love it. Again, some more color palettes, showing you how these different scenes will feel as you move your way through the piece. Even this is very evocative. You can use a piece like this to inform, can't you? It doesn't need to be fleshed out. In fact, it's the lack of fleshing things out that allows you to be more spontaneous. Here's the next thing, storyboarding. Okay, and these pieces are done by James Robertson. I remember watching The Making of the Incredibles, and in it, the storyboard artist was talking about how he used storyboards or the character designer was using storyboards to flesh out the character designs. Particularly, he was showing scenes with Jack where he's trying to escape from his from his pen because he kept getting out all the time. And he described how through drawing the actions of Vi and Dash and Jack and Elastigirl, it allowed him to start to explore the design of the character, because we are what we do, right? So it's through movement and through action and through the acting in a scene that we start to understand the forms better. And it very much informs the design itself. And that's what's happening here with James's pieces. I really strongly recommend you do this if you ever get the chance. A nice color palette just to give us the sense of the more practical, earthy tones of a classroom. He's got his retainer now. He's lost his braces. Good job, Mike. Randall. I love this idea of Randall. If you notice here, he's wearing glasses and he's got this like very perky, open-eyed type of look to himself. And the idea they came up with, I don't know if it was in the original Monsters, Inc. or in Monster University, was that the reason he squints is not because he's a sleaze, it's because he's blind. So when he was in school, he wore glasses. So he's like, hey guys, how are you? Right? Very ambitious, competitive student. And then he took the glasses off and he became this sleazeball. But it's actually the fact that he's practically blind without his glasses on that gave him the sleazy look. I thought that was a very cute way of interpreting that. Now we get into Dean Hardscrabble. They originally started off with the idea of a male character. And the concept was kind of base him a little bit off of an insect and an alligator to give him the girth and imposing silhouette of an alligator, but with maybe some of the creepier, some of the more unsettling features of insects. But when they decided to redesign her and make her a female, they completely started over from scratch and decided to take a more Professor McGonagall kind of authoritative, mature woman type of approach. So they really redesigned her from the ground up and ended up with something slightly middle ground. And not quite as intimidating and as imposing, but still authoritative, the very feminine high cheekbones and dark eye makeup and the tall neck like she had. She studied ballet her whole life, so she had the perfect posture type of idea. I love this character. She turned out to be one of their favorite characters. And you can see where you take this design idea, and then it was translated by Dice into what he used lighting to try to capture that very top-down lighting, imposing power lighting, as far as that goes. Same here with Dice. Now notice it's not always about being epic and colorful. Here he wants to convey a sense of boring, mundane. So a lot of these colors are very desaturated with a character that's very reminiscent of the father in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, with his very empathetic, fat, sad eyebrow type of thing. Right? Again, some pieces by Dice and Robert Kondo over here. Daniel Arriaga, who sketched out a lot of these more two-dimensional sketches that are also very evocative sketches, very stylized. You recognize this style quite a bit. I love these drawings. Shelley Wan, who took a very loose sketch and refines it. But we already had that original impression. They're talking about how they came up with the ideas for the set design for the college itself. And over here, the Champ, Peter Chan, of course, also Schoolism, so you can go check him out there, has these more fleshed out sketches that really make me think a lot of, has a very Hogwartsy type of vibe to it, which I absolutely love. But he has these more fleshed out college sketches. And as we move forward, you're going to see how they break into the actual landscape, the actual cartography of the college itself, the interiors and the exteriors as we move forward. And you're going to see how practical this is if you ever plan on working on a larger scale project. It's always to your benefit to plan things out like this, if need be, because you can create multiple different scenes from a single layout. You can just imagine yourself moving the camera around and picturing how you can get this shot or this shot. You can come up, you can flesh out 10 scenes from one space. So it's worthwhile doing stuff like this if need be. It's a very good way of planning pieces. And some artists are better at being spontaneous and just going with the flow. Some artists need a far more structured base, starting point of their work. One of my students this morning is a far more structured artist. She has a background in biology, and she's much more practical and much more planned with the way she goes about her work. For her, it's to her benefit to plan things out, flesh them out, understand how things work practically, and then get into the design process. So she starts slower and then ramps things up. Try to explore, if you're new at art, try to explore an approach, a beginning point of your artwork that allows you to be more productive in the long run. Sometimes planning out things too much can stiffen people up. For other people, it speeds them up. So learn yourself. Now we're going to fast forward quite a bit. I've skipped through quite a bit of the book because I want to jump straight into the character designs. And again, check out the very loose approach to character designs. Be brave, explore, be silly, have fun, try things out that completely break the mold. And this allows you to expand and evolve ideas. And what you can see here is notice that there's a lot of emphasis on the basic shapes of things, the basic forms. Here, check it out again, loose sketches, character exploration. He ends up with this kind of like, hey guys, today we're going to be learning about biology. You can literally see the voice. Oh, here's another trick. I use this personally all the time because I love doing voices. I've always loved doing voices. Find a catalyst to explore characters. I find one of the tools I love using for creating characters, especially when I get into more caricatured, cartoony stuff, is my voice. The voice translates into the body. If you watch my video on How to Train Your Dragon, the book How to Train Your Dragon, which you can check out right here, I get into character when we're looking at these different Vikings with the big guy with his big eye like that. You see, as soon as I did that, my mouth and my jaw changed shape and my shoulders went down and heavy, or a little bit more elegant and feminine, more centralized. Look, my eyes get sleek. I can picture my cheekbones. Even though I don't look it, I feel it through the voice. So get off your butt, and even if you like doing voices, do voice impressions, and you're going to notice how that immediately starts to get that brain going and get ideas going on in your head. I can picture the voice of these characters in my head. You know, like, hey, hi! Yeah, I can picture the high up, kind of like over-enthusiastic big guy, the tall guy going, what was going on, guys? He never knows what's going on. Everybody else does. Kind of reminds me of myself as a kid. I was just like, what's going on, guys? Like, nothing, Adam. It's fine. Never mind. You sure? Can I play? We're not playing any games, Adam. Can I lick that? No. That's not safe, Adam. Okay. All right. Okay. Or the mom. You can see the mom. Hi, everybody. How are you doing today? Oh, that's great. Nice. The cheeks. Very innocent, very mommy-like. Right? I love that. Bye. The little hands and the hair with their visor. The typical, mom on vacation type of thing. Playing around with different lighting. Look at how that lighting is hitting off the top of the windows. You can observe this. Observe different times of day. Observe different climates. And you can translate that information into your work. One of my favorite times of day is sunset. When the sun's dipping right below the horizon and there's light hitting off the tops of the trees and the houses, and they caught that perfectly. One of my personal favorite times of day is captured perfectly in this image because you get a little caption of the cool light of night when you get everybody starts to turn off their lights because the light isn't popping in through the windows yet. It's just hitting off the top of the houses. That's very observant artwork. Somebody who definitely is always keeping their eyes open on what's going on around them. I'm sure that Dice experienced this 100 times walking home and he decided, I like that lighting. I'm gonna put that into my piece. I can see that this is from personal experience. So I'm gonna end it here for today just because I can't make this video 16 hours long. We don't have that kind of time on our hands, unfortunately. Or maybe we do now, all things considered. If you are out looking for probably one of the best artistic educations you can get for a very affordable price online, not sponsored, go to SHOOLISM. I mean, all of these artists and all of this genius you have access to, and I'm saying this from personal love. I have a lot of affection for Bobby Chiu. I have a lot of affection for all of these artists that have contributed to this book, including Dice, and you've got access to these resources. You can learn from the artists that actually produce this work themselves. So I cannot recommend enough that you go and check them out. And there's a whole crew of amazing artists at SHOOLISM that you can go and check out for sure. So don't waste this opportunity. If you're stuck at home and you're bored and you don't know what else to do with yourself, this is a perfect opportunity to learn and distract yourself from all of this stressful stuff while also encouraging you to stay home and staying safe. And what I want you guys to take away from this from an artistic perspective is remember that your technical ability to draw cool things is not generally what impacts your audience the most. It's how you make them feel. And everything that drives Dice's work, and I'd argue every artist that is hired at Pixar, minus perhaps more technical artists that are hired more to do more technical drawings, is they are hired because they have an ability to capture feeling. They have an ability to capture mood through composition and color and form and lighting. Whatever means you have an affinity to, take advantage of that skill and use it. Remember that your art is a means to communicate feelings to other people. And with that said, I want to encourage all of you to take advantage of this opportunity to stay safe and learn and grow in a safe environment. And you have access to all of these amazing online courses, like courses by Dice Tsutsumi as well, and Bobby Chu, and Sam Nielsen, and Nathan Fowkes, and Marco Bucci, and Charles Bernard, and Tyler. There's a whole smorgasbord of artists out there that can teach you how to do exactly this. So take advantage of it in a safe environment. And of course, I love you all with all of my heart, and happy painting. Take care.